Good morning, everyone. Just before I get started, I must say, Mr. Kent Gady told me I would be able to see 15 rows back, and I'm going to say I can see to the back row. So, you must be the change you want to see in the world. I know, you're all thinking, wow, now how did she come up with something like that? Well, I sure didn't. Mahatma Gandhi did. But thanks for thinking so highly of me. Hello there, I'm Maren McNees. I'm 15 years old, and I will be a sophomore at the Atlantic High School, which is in Iowa. And no, not everyone from Iowa is a redneck like most people think. I've been involved in track, cross country, basketball, soccer, and softball. I'm also on the student council, and you can always find me on stage at either a choir or show choir concert, or even a musical or a play. I'm also a very dedicated churchgoer. I attend the First United Methodist Church, and I am thankful to say that the congregation is my family and has made me into the woman I am today. I use the term woman loosely because my father is right there, and I am still his little angel. I have a 17-year-old brother named Ian. We get along for the most part, except for the day he decided he had the most divine idea ever. So we thought, which was to chop all of my hair off with zigzag scissors. Besides that minor mishap, we get along quite well. My parents are Mark and Bobby Joe. Even though I passed my mother in height and shoe size in the 4th grade, her and Daddy are still the head honchos of the household. Now you're all probably wondering why I'm up here just babbling away at you, and why didn't they bring in someone with some crazy survival story and have the scars to prove it? Well, I'm actually here because of my New Year's resolution. What's my New Year's resolution, do you ask? My New Year's resolution is to do a good deed for someone every day of the year. Some of you out there may be thinking that that just sounds preposterous. In this era, how could a teenager even come up with something like that? Well, it's not difficult in any way. You just need to have the tenacity to be an all-around good person. And it's a lot easier than it sounds, which I'll touch base on later. But I came up with this idea after hearing someone on TV talk about doing one for someone once a week. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm always up for a challenge. So I decided to up the ante and do one for someone every day. Little did I know, it's not a challenge in any way. Another thing you may be wondering is, how did people even find out about this? And I will be the first to let you know that publicity and attention was not my goal in any way. In fact, I was enjoying a very well-made BLT with no tomato, so technically a BL, but those are minor details, when I was subsequently interrupted by a local newspaper reporter. Every week, they go into this local restaurant I was eating in and pick out random people to ask random questions. And after my grandfather and cousin Kylie so gratefully declined the offer for an interview, my brother Ian and I said, well, why not? It's not like our lives will be impacted in any way. It's just a question. And let me tell you, we sure assumed wrong. After I had told her of my plans for the year, which I was excited to begin, I finished my meal and we left. But little did I know, a week later, I would receive a call from a newspaper reporter in Des Moines. After answering enough questions to make a game show with, he wrote a heartfelt article on me. Once this was published, I was approached by the Channel 7 news station in Omaha, Nebraska. Another offer for me to get my message out was made, so I accepted. They filmed a segment of me and my youth group helping at a homeless shelter. And after I thought the ginormous amount of Facebook creepers were almost through with stalking me, I thought I was finally free of publicity. Until one morning, my wake-up call was a giant hot dog sitting in the front of my house. Now, if any of you have ever been awakened by something so interesting, please come talk to me. I would really like to hear about it. So after being made an official hot dogger by Oscar Mayer and having my name changed to Maren Mustard, I spent the day strolling around in my new and improved ride, aka the Wienermobile, doing as many good deeds as I could mustard together, get it? Including giving children with cancer rides, giving gifts to people mourning a loss, and helping a local corporation for the disabled to start a garden with a $5,000 donation from Oscar Mayer. And after all this ruckus settled down, and I was no longer being flocked by random civilians around town congratulating me, I was contacted by a couple other magazines, Reader's Digest, and had a few short phone interviews. Then, the one and only Kent Gady contacted my father and asked if this appearance was even a possibility. And after a few meetings, I stand before you here today wondering what in the world is going to come next. Now, I didn't just come here to rant on about myself. I came to speak about doing the right thing and drug awareness that the Elks so willingly puts information out about. I was searching YouTube the other day, and I came across this rap video about drugs. I clicked on it, thinking it would be the same old, boring, non-attention-grabbing videos like the ones we see at school. And I know firsthand about how easy it is to lose a high schooler's attention, because I will admit, my attention span can be quite faulty at times. But right as it started to play, I could tell this wasn't the same old type of video. It grabbed my attention, and it held it the whole way through. I proceeded to search more and found out that the Elks drug awareness program was the masterminds behind this, but Milton Courier should be the one taking a lot of the credit for it. Now, I grew up knowing that the Elks do anything and everything for anyone, whether it's supporting college-bound students, supporting youth activities, helping out veterans, spreading the word about drug awareness, or just lending a helping hand around the community. You can always count on the Elks to be there for you. And I can remember being a little girl, and I would ask my mom, "Where's Daddy?" And I've always been a daddy's girl, so you can only imagine the sadness I was overcome with when her answer always seemed to have something to do with the Elks. But the more I grew and the more I matured, I realized even though I thought my dad was taking family time away, in reality, he was actually doing good in our communities. Just stop and think. If the Elks only did for themselves and only did when there were rewards involved, what kind of communities would we have? In fact, we may not even have communities that function in a giving way. But because of the Elks Lodge and all of the selfless members that are a part of it, including my father and grandfather, I'm proud to say that thanks to the Elks, our world sees a brighter future every day. And now when my mom tells me that my dad's at the Elks, I can easily say, good for him. I hope multiple more lives are impacted today due to the amazing men and women in the Elks. So this past year of school, I wasn't absent very often, but of course, the day I was the day that the Atlantic High School invited the most spectacular speaker to ever walk through those front doors. And of course, it was the one and only Milton. And I can remember my friends frantically calling me later that night to see if I was feeling better, but most importantly, to tell me about this amazing speaker there was. And they also had to tell me that he made a few of the known troublemakers shake in their boots. But this was just once again proof to me that the Elks has people out there to inform high schoolers and young adults to stand up and make a difference. And if you're like me and you never want the attention, then the Elks as an organization needs to go out to the media and contact those youngsters to help do the work that is asked of them under the Elks name. Take the enthusiasm and the energy of the youth that want to serve and do good deeds, and make the Elks the place that they can go to do just that. And since some of the youth may not be old enough to be members, make them have reason to later become members of your lodge. Don't discourage them, utilize them, and give them their place, because if the youth get interested, the parents may follow. And they need you to inspire others to do the amazing work that you do. You as Elks need to be sure to make yourself known in the public eye so other people can know what you're doing, how they can get involved, and be proud to know that they can impact someone else's life by being an Elk. Now, I'm not here to toot my own horn, but the Elks need to toot their own. And once the lodges come together to give others the incentive to join and do the miraculous work that you do, I have no doubt that once again, this life-changing organization can again become a blossoming road to success for many generations to come. Now, I've seen the damage that drugs can do to people, and I've always been highly against drugs and alcohol. So it just tears me up inside when I hear of yet another drug or alcohol-related story in my high school. Because let me tell you, they are everywhere. But without the Elks Drug Awareness Program, who knows, maybe a lot of people wouldn't know about the risks or effects of drugs until it was too late. So keep letting yourselves be known as the organization that saves and changes lives. Because I know, with the amount of dedication, determination, and selflessness that each and every one of you uphold, lives will continue to be changed. And just know, no matter how big or how small, how outrageous or how generous, or how caring or how worthless you may think a good deed is, in some way you have impacted someone else's life. Now, I'm not asking you to become me, but I am asking that you all slightly better yourselves in hopes of spawning a new life in this life-changing organization that you should all be oh so proud to be a part of. And I thank you very much for taking family time and personal time out of your lives and being an Elk. Because believe it or not, each and every one of you brighten the futures of others every day. So keep up the behemoth work and the itsy bitsy work, because it all makes a world of a difference.